Hi everyone, we're back. I'm with Yuan Jur. My name's Charles, and we're going to invite you to enter the Superverse once more. Today we thought we might have a look at the main character from the C7 Superverse, Commander Bloch. Now, in the first couple of books, we see Commander Bloch, well, as Ben Bloch and Tackle, a youngster who really, we're not quite sure who he is, what he's doing here, why his family are in an old VW camper broken down outside Broken Hill. That's about as far as I'll go with the spoilers on that. What can you tell us a bit about the early days of Commander Bloch?
Well, like all, you know, all characters in good stories are broken in some way. So part of the introduction of him is about his position of being broken from a variety of angles. The Australian outback is a fabulous place to start such a thing because it has its own mystery and it has its own very ancient history and stuff. And when we meet him in his younger years, the story unfolds there because it literally acts as the catalyst for the overall scope of what is to come. I started that young because I think as a human being, he is much more relatable to people in the beginning, and as he goes through his evolutions, then they just can then you know, go along for the ride.
So Broken Hill is a very interesting historical place for Australian standards too. I mean, there's the references to the Second World War and the treatment of prisoners of war.
Yeah, there's a lot of sort of back history there that even a lot of young Australians would have no knowledge about, which is really, really very interesting stuff. In fact, it's the place where the first shots were ever fired in the invasion of Australia by two Turkish individuals, and that's actually a historical piece that happened. And so that's sort of a little bit woven in there about what's happened to Ben and his family and so on. So, but Broken Hill is a very, very colourful place for people that don't know, you know, who don't live in Australia or who don't even live on the east coast of Australia, if you like, because Broken Hill is kind of a place that's mentioned from time to time. But it's one of those outback places that has a lot of very colourful characters and a lot of history about Australia's evolution as a country.
So we find ourselves in Broken Hill. Young Ben witnesses something pretty awful, which I won't go into now for spoiler reasons, and ends up living with his Aunt Merle and Uncle Tom on their farm. And then things start to get a bit strange, don't they?
Yeah, things get a bit weird.
And is that really where, that's the moment of ignition where some fairly major plot points and story structures are exposed?
Yeah, there's a, look, there is a mixture of things that occur in that we find out a bit about Ben's background there through a little bit of family history. But really what happens is, because we're dealing with something that's it's a time travel paranormal saga, and so all of a sudden this is where the convergence of issues start to come in upon the story of maybe things are not just as ordinary as they seem.
So he has some fairly amazing dreams, which may or may not.
Yeah, well, they're
be real.
What he believes are dreams at first,
right?
But they're those type of dreams that are so vivid that you can't tell the difference between one reality and another, and he can get very, well, which reality am I in? So it starts to get a bit seesawy for him, you know. And as a young lad, you know, in his teens, it's partly intriguing to him, and at the same time, it's a bit spooky,
a bit scary too.
Yeah, a bit scary, yeah. Especially the way one of the dreams starts.
Now, you're aware of our strict-ish 5 minutes per episode time policy, aren't you? Well, we're out of time. So if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, come visit us again next time we enter the Superverse. Thanks. Bye.